strike me down, I shall become more powerful than you could possibly imagine.
Welcome everyone, we have some breaking Splinterlands news, some huge changes going into effect here later this week. They just announced it a few minutes ago. We have some energy capture rate changes that are going to change the game significantly. And the liquidity pool rewards have finally been announced. I know a lot of you have been waiting for that for a little bit now. So let's go jump into the post right now. We have, first off, the ECR formula update. This is going into effect on Thursday, July 21st. That's 3 days from this post. And this is going into effect with a couple of other changes that have already been announced. So those are rental periods being extended from 24 hours to 48 hours to 2 days. I shouldn't say rental periods, the minimum rental time. So you can rent for 2 days and then extend that for another day to do 3 days. But the minimum time is a 2-day rental period now. And then we're also getting more focuses. And with those additional focuses, you will now no longer be guaranteed to have a single splinter every battle. So that's going to change up how a lot of people rent, how a lot of bots rent in particular. And this here is going to be another thing that really targets those bot farms. So right now, the way it works is that when you play a battle, you drain 1% of your current ECR. So if you have 100% ECR, you use 1% ECR for that battle. If you have 80% ECR, you use 0.8% ECR for that battle, and then only get 80% of the rewards. So that's going to continue to work the exact same way until we get below 50%. So once we get below 50%, you will now start using a flat 5% ECR for every battle, but you're still going to get the same amount of the same ECR penalty. So if your ECR is at 30%, you're only going to get 30% of those rewards, despite the fact that you're going to be using up a lot more capture rate. So this is now very, very punishing to play below 50% ECR. You can still play if you want to. Maybe some players that are trying to fight for the leaderboard, especially on the last days of the season, if they're going for those leaderboard prizes, they might say, I don't care about getting reduced rewards for my battle, my daily battles. I want that rating, so I'm going to keep grinding below 50% ECR because I want that leaderboard spot. So if you still want to grind for that, you absolutely can, but it's going to be very punishing if you play battles below 50%. And that is huge because a lot of bots, this is how a lot of bots can kind of exploit the system, and what bots can do that humans cannot, especially using the rental market. A lot of bots rent. So what they will do right now is they will rent a card, a single splinter, because right now you're guaranteed to, whatever your daily focus is, you're guaranteed to have that splinter. So bots will rent, they'll start the day at 100% ECR. They'll rent for 24 hours, their single splinter, and they will drain their entire ECR. So all 100%, plus you get 25% ECR throughout the day. So they'll basically drain 125% ECR doing hundreds of battles, however many that is, in a single day to maximize that rental period. And then they won't rent. Then they'll take 4 days off for their account to recover to 100%. And what the bot farms will do is they'll rent for that 1 day, and then they'll move over and rent potentially the same cards on a different account for day 2. And then the second account on day 2 will drain the 125%. And then a third account will drain, and they do that across thousands of accounts. So they have accounts rotating in and out which ones rent. And because they can play so many battles, they can get better rewards that way. So this is really attacking that. So when they drop below 50%, now it's going to be very, very penalizing. Plus, they now have to rent for 2 days instead of 1. So the combination of not being able to spend as much ECR at a single time and having to rent for 2 days instead of 1, plus not getting your focus. Remember, they're not going to be guaranteed to have their splinter focus for every single battle. So they can't just go rent Earth and spam Earth every single time. They have to rent across more splinters. So now that's going to become much more, that strategy is going to become much more expensive to run. And you're increasing the cost, you're nerfing the rewards, and that's going to really hit these bot farms pretty hard. So we'll see what happens there. We'll see how they adjust. And some players are not going to like this because yes, that's a strategy that bots can exploit better than humans, but there are still a lot of humans that do use that strategy. Rent for, and it's a strategy that I myself have even promoted and recommend people use. But it was not good for the economy to go rent for a single splinter for one day, play a bunch of battles there. So it is good for the economy that is being closed up, and it's going to lead to a much more sustainable, balanced economy. So this is going to be a great thing for the economy. I know some players won't necessarily like it, but it is something that is kind of necessary, and it's going to hit these bot farms very, very hard. And I know that's what we needed, right? Or just being honest, that's what we needed. We need to hit these bot farms hard, and this is going to do that. So liquidity provider awards. So right now, the big incentive for some of these liquidity pools are the extra airdrops for having DEC, that type of thing. So airdrop is ending, so we are going to be replacing those with some new liquidity provider rewards. And there are 7.5 million SPS per month allocated to LP rewards. We're going to be using a lot of that, not all of that. There's actually going to be some that's left over. There's going to leave 1.875 million SPS to be put towards future LPs. But here's the breakdown right here. Here's the breakdown. We see SPS BNB on BSC, SPS Ethereum, and then on Hive Engine, you're gonna have SPS Hive, SPS DEC. I mean, those are core things for the game, right? We want to incentivize people to provide liquidity so people can cash out. If you've got Hive, you can convert it to SPS. If you have SPS, you can convert it to DEC, back and forth, whatever the case is. The one that they didn't mention on as coming that I was kind of surprised, but a good surprise, is voucher and Hive pool. That's going to make it easier to buy and sell vouchers. You no longer have to put in market bids, that type of thing. You can you'll be able to go to a pool once these incentives are here and swap between vouchers and Hive. So I really like that. It talks about, basically it goes on to talk about how much less SPS we are going to be distributing after the airdrop. So that all is going to be pretty cool. Nothing necessarily new there, but even once we have the SPS in ranked battles from validator nodes, there's still going to be 27% less SPS being distributed than there is today. So that's going to be pretty cool. So that was all kind of expected. Nothing really surprising there. This part here is surprising to a lot of people, including myself. And that is that there's also going to be DEC rewards that will be minted to provide liquidity for DEC pools. So for DEC Hive, for DEC BUSD, there's going to be extra DEC rewards. And that's surprising because we kind of thought DEC was going to stop being minted. And Splinterlands goes on to talk here about how, yes, even though there's going to be DEC minted for this, it's only going to be about a fifth of the size of what is currently minted for DEC. So remember, that DEC is being removed from battle rewards, from chest rewards, those types of things, and being replaced with SPS. So we kind of thought the only way to mint DEC in the game was going to be by burning SPS or by burning cards, and that's not the case. They're going to mint it for these rewards because they feel that this liquidity here is that important and it is worth giving those rewards to. So one other thing that surprised me, a fifth the size of the current amount of DEC being minted. That means the game currently distributes about 350 million DEC per month in battles and chests. And that is way, way more than I realized. I did not realize we were minting that much DEC. It certainly makes sense why we've seen the DEC price decrease, right? If we are minting that much. So I was honestly a little disappointed that we're minting these, but the nice thing is that SPS governance voting is coming soon. They've been working on a simplified first version of the SPS governance voting system, and what that means is that if the community doesn't like this, because there has already been some pushback from the community about minting 70 million DEC per month for these LP rewards, if the community doesn't like it, they can very shortly here go vote to get rid of it, or to say this needs to be SPS rewards instead of DEC, and we need to distribute the SPS there, or we don't need some of these pools at all. Whatever the case is, the community can go vote to decide that, and these are very easy to adjust. even without the voting, if it turns out that, okay, we're still minting too much DEC, DEC's not getting back to its peg value, I mean, that's something easy to adjust down the line, right? The reality is that this is not exact science. We can't put this into a simulator and say, yes, if we put this much rewards on DEC, DEC will go to this price, and if we decrease or increase the rewards, it'll be this price. I mean, some of this you just kind of have to take your best guess at where the value is and how much is needed, and then make adjustments after we see what's happening. So if adjustments need to be made, adjustments will be made, whether it's Splinterlands kind of looking at the data and making adjustments, or the community with SPS governance stepping in and saying, this is what we want, let's go make this happen. So I'm excited about all of this. I am absolutely excited about all of this, especially this ECR change, because I feel like this ECR formula update is really going to hit bots very, very hard, and that's a great thing. In my opinion, that is absolutely a great thing. So I'm excited for Thursday, for the 21st this week, when this update comes, and let's see what happens to the bots. Bots have been kind of resilient too. They make adjustments. So, but this is going to be a major punch to them. I don't think they're going to go away. I still think there's spot for bots, and there's always going to be spots for some bots. What we want though is, instead of running 1,000 brawn bots or 10,000 brawn bots or whatever the case is, we want there to be incentives to combine those resources together to run a fewer amount of gold and diamond and champion bots or whatever the case is. And there are a lot of changes that are coming together to go towards that. You're also going to see merits in the rewards. I didn't even mention that earlier. Merits and rewards are going to incentivize having a single higher level account versus a bunch of lower level accounts. So lots of changes coming towards those incentives. So we'll see how it plays out. On paper, I absolutely love it. Let's see in reality how this all goes down. But I'm excited. Let me know your thoughts below. I know a lot of you weren't happy about the previous changes. Some of you didn't even like how excited I am about the changes, but I don't care. I'm excited. This is great for the stability of the game, and the Splinterlands economy I think is going to start to look really, really nice. Still a few more changes that need to be made. This alone is not going to get us there, but it is a giant leap in the right direction, so I'm super excited. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you around.